This is Liina, and I'm here with Gillian Gottsill, and we're doing our weekly crypto divas. We skipped last week because Gillian was away, but here we are, and let's see what's been going on in crypto.
And I have to have a shout out for where I was away at an amazing conference in Sri Lanka. It was the first blockchain conference, I think, in Sri Lanka, organized by Divas, which is an Omani-based company, and I'd worked with them before in Oman at the first conference there. Colombo is a beautiful city. The people are gorgeous, and I had an amazing time. So anyway, but I'm back. I'm exhausted, but I'm back. So how's the news been? You kick off then.
Yeah, well, firstly, actually, I would like to talk about something that is not directly related to crypto, but still important. So Elon Musk stepped down from Tesla because he got charged with insider trading. Following his stupid tweet saying that
another stupid tweet.
I mean, how many stupid tweets can one man do? Which is a shame, really. He was kind of the real world Iron Man, and he's just gone bonkers. But anyways, why I'm talking about this related to crypto is, you do this in the kind of real world, and you get charged because this is insider trading. You do this in crypto, nothing happens because there are no regulations. So on one hand, it's good that there's kind of no regulation. On the other hand, things like, let's say, Jamie Dimon last year saying that Bitcoin is a fraud or pyramid scheme, and then going out and buying Bitcoin kind of the next day, he totally got away with it.
Yeah.
And this is not okay.
Yeah, you're right. On the one hand, I mean, Elon Musk, he fell from my own particular grace with the comments he made after the cave rescue. I just thought that was so insane and unnecessary, and the whole thing was horrible. But on the one hand, I think that was quite extreme. Funds secured. Those are the two words that got him on that tweet. Those are part of funds secured. But on the other hand, you're right. When you are a big, huge public figure, you should be more cautious, and you need to be much more tempered in your tweets. You can't just go out and say that. Although tell that to the president of the United States. Maybe people follow his guards. Oh, I can say anything, But so on the one hand, I think it seemed a bit extreme. The SEC was at 40 million. They came to see, and he's staying as CEO, but he's stepping down as chairman, so he'll still be the face, I guess, of Tesla. But it seemed a little bit extreme. But on the other hand, you're right. Jamie Dimon can do it and just get away with it and make a fortune. So there should be responsibility, and even if the SEC, I suppose they made an example out of Elon Musk as well, because he's so high profile. And he is a bit crazy. But yeah, I agree. I mean, we need regulation, but let's have sensible regulation that actually makes sense to the industry and not try to squeeze it into the ordinary stuff, So yeah, that was an interesting piece of news. And I want to talk about the price because that's what we do. And it was interesting because there was a bit of dumping, a few gains, a lot more volume being traded. That's good. I think we're coming into the autumn now. It's around the 1st. Is it tomorrow, Monday, or Tuesday, the 1st of October? I think we are finally seeing it settle down a bit, and experts are all saying, they say that there was a big dump in Bitcoin loss between 7 and 8% in 2010 in August, and in January 2014 and January 2015. So there's all these things, and January this year, of course. But all the experts saying, like Shapeshifter CEO Eric Voorhees, Mike Novogratz, and Ben Horowitz, and they're all saying market maturing, it's going to stabilize. And even CZ in a recent interview didn't actually say he was predicting that the Bitcoin will go up, but he said there's a pattern and it seems to be following this. So that's just my take on the markets. They're stabilizing, which is good. Less talk about. I know I keep on talking about the price. I don't know why. I don't trade, but I'd like to see it just like normal and no nothing and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the crypto price is definitely always, what? No, yes, no. It's like a roller coaster. But I also believe that it's gonna stabilize at some point. It's gonna have to. So I found this news kind of linked to insurance. On that note, I would like to say that tomorrow.
Oh yes.
Black.insure ICO is starting, and we've been doing so well with our partnerships with traditional insurers, and they are really getting at our back to do a pilot next year. So our plan was to raise up to 45 million, and we had different milestones of, let's say we raise 10 million, we get licensed in Europe. Over 20, we take another market, and up to 45, we will be operating and licensed in 3 markets. But because of these partnerships, we at this point don't need a license, because we will do it through the reinsurer's license. And our main goal right now is to raise the funds to build the tech, and then start the pilot project. And then later on, perhaps 2019 and 2020, we'll do another raise to fund the licensing.
Yeah.
So we are kind of doing a pre-sale and live sale for the tech, and we are right now raising up to 5 million, because just build the tech and don't get greedy. And we are very happy, and hopefully I can announce the big partnerships very soon. The press releases are about to be sent, but of course, as Elon Musk has taught us, unless the papers are signed, do not say.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, so everyone, you can get your tokens tomorrow. And so what I was actually going to talk about is BitGo. So BitGo is now saying that they need to up their security, and when already in 2013 they were safeguarding about $10 million worth of cryptos. In 2015 that was 100 million, and 2017 it was close to 1 billion. So the CEO Mike Belch is saying that this industry isn't going to go down, it's going to go up. So they're going to become potentially a $1 trillion wallet. And how do you secure something like that? So they are working hard on that, which is fantastic. But of course, there's really sinister things behind it. So they call it. They said basically finger or kid. So okay, you can put everything in cold storage, but if a person comes to you and says, "I will cut off your fingers, or I'll kill your children if you don't give me the money," what do you do?
Yeah.
And that's a real concern, because there have been crypto kidnaps, and they are tightening up their tech to secure the.
I think that's always been there. We had a period where paramilitaries here in Ireland, when the troubles were going on, and they had things called tiger kidnapping, where they would kidnap, go to someone's house, somebody who had access to a bank or whatever, someone had access to safes or access to some sort of monies. They would kidnap the whole family and then take them off, and they'd say, "We're going to kill your wife and children unless you do this thing." So there are quite a few of them. So I think that's inherently there anyway in the world, isn't it? Bad people are going to target people who have access to money, whether it's crypto or fiat money.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry if a criminal comes and says, "I'll kill your children," Jesus Christ, open the vault.
Yeah.
So on that side, they are, perhaps this is the big one for Black insurance to do. They are gonna start finding insurance to cover any losses. But of course, there's many questions here. What cases are covered? Who's the underwriter? And what about insider theft or executive insider theft? And what are the caps? And what do you do? And how to cover these losses? But potentially 1 trillion is a lot of money, and it is right now completely uninsured, and it's just
Yeah. Maybe there's a way. If you think about how Bitcoin is unstable because it needs a 51% tax. Maybe if you had to protect people, because if one person can access the vault, that's only one person. But maybe if you need like 10 executives all around the world to open the part of the vault or something, the major part, the trillion, whatever, that would be very hard for one criminal mastermind to, kidnap or, threaten 10 people across the world with one person. Maybe there's about a human, 51% might work,
Yeah, potentially.
I would not like to be the employee or the person who has the keys to all that money.
Yeah, no. No.
I'll settle for a modest account to my bank account, thank you. Well, I have a nice story. Ripple again. Ripple's kind of funny. They've been leading the charge, haven't they, with the price? They were up 30% recently. But they have Ripple for Good. I like this. they're going to fund a new project because they reckon to get mass adoption, you need education and financial inclusion. That's kind of their buzzwords. So they have raised 80 million in donations. They put another 25 million in themselves, and they're going to look for projects. But I didn't realize it. 4 years ago, they set up Ripple Words, a not-for-profit to support social ventures, again, in education and financial inclusion. And Dan Gallen is the CEO. He says it's not lip service. And this is interesting. Wow. And over the 4 years, they've worked with 70 projects in 55 countries, with 3 million patients, 6 million students, and 25 million people being impacted by the Ripple Words. That's pretty. Because I remember earlier this year, Ripple gave a whole bunch of money to the public schools. They offered them, they asked for help. They got money directly for books and whatever they needed, classrooms, doing that, whatever. So Ripple, doing some good corporate social responsibility stuff.
Very nice. I think I also had a nice story somewhere. Oh, no, I have a fun one. So Pornhub said that they...
I have that one too.
I got in there first. So less than 1% of their subscribers are paying with crypto. However, you think 1%, what's that? But Pornhub had an average of 81 million visitors per day. So 1% of that is rather a lot. And also they've not said how many of these users are actually the high-paying subscribers. And Pornhub said that it's very important for them, because if their users want to pay in crypto, they're going to have to allow it. And also they've added Tron and Zencash now, which has been rebranded to Horizon as payment, because some users would like some more privacy in their transactions. So yeah, there's definitely a big industry in the in the adult industry for cryptos. So for example, cam girls often take cryptos, and then on the other side, well, this is rather illegal, but Backpage, a US site, I think they've been shut down now. There were women. It was basically they were facilitating prostitution. And because they lost their payment method, people started using Bitcoin on there. So yes, Bitcoin is kind of a way to sneak past your traditional payments if you want to do something that is not legal. But doesn't make.
Also, I mean, I have quite strong feelings about the whole adult entertainment industry, and it's tough. If you're a sex worker, oftentimes you can't get banking. Because if the banks know that that's what you're doing, and even if it's illegal, if you're in Nevada or if you're in Holland, whatever, and you're doing the illegal service, banks will often not offer you your banking services. So how do you process payments? So, and I know that it's a whole prostitution, adult entertainment. It's not straightforward. I mean, I totally believe in the right people to do what they need to do. If they're doing it, protect them. That's the big thing. Protect the people, and it's usually the woman or the young man or whatever, who is the prostitute doing the stuff. They're the ones who are the least protected. So if Bitcoin can help them, happy days. So I'm big on that one. Actually, it's funny too as well, because I was doing some work with Verge around the time they did that announcement. They had that big deal with Pornhub, and in that the article I read, it said, why would Pornhub have chosen Verge, Tron, and Zcash? Apart from the fact their privacy fines, but also they paid rather large amount of money into Pornhub, because I know when Pornhub raised about, not Pornhub, Verge raised about, I think it was 2 or 3 million. They asked all people to donate money, and that's when they made the announcement that they were going to be available to spend on Pornhub. So, yeah, well, interesting. They're interesting people. So anyway, I've got a boring story now. Well, not boring, but it's Hong Kong. We mentioned it last time we were talking. Most densely populated and the most expensive real estate in the world, pretty much. It's like 307 dollars per square foot per year. In August, it was announced that BitMEX was moving into the center of the city. A lot of the banks are moving out because it's too expensive. But it's interesting, BitMEX, who is apparently, it's in the creme de la creme spot in the middle of Hong Kong. But they were asked to pay a year's rent in advance in case they went bust or whatever. But anyway, so crypto moving in, traditional fiat moving out.
Yeah, it's very interesting. We were just actually talking about this last night. My husband is away in Munich at the conference, and grandma took the children. So after a lot of hard work, I went to see the neighbors, and we started discussing about sort of the state of the economy, and Hong Kong particularly, because it's a financial superpower. there are rumors that their economy is bad, and also JP Morgan has predicted a worldwide economic crash in 2019. And as I'm looking at things in Estonia, the really high real estate prices, that's really alarming. So yeah, it's kind of, if there is an economic crash, of course there's going to be bad things, but for crypto this could potentially be really good. Wow. Because people want to kind of move out of fiat because they're scared. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to ask you actually something, because of your background in finance. Euribor and LIBOR, when is it high and when is it low? Because we were trying to figure out yesterday. So if the economy is good, I would assume that the lending rates would be high. If the economy is bad, banks want to encourage people to, money is cheap, to borrow more. Yes, they won't give a loan to everyone, but when is it high and when is it low?
That sounds reasonable to me, but my financial expertise is so long ago. So I think it is right, because remember I ranted before about the tracker mortgages here, where the banks in the boom they did loss-leading mortgage loans, basically at below cost. Pretty much they were lending out at mortgages here, and then when things went belly up, they swiped them out and put them back onto floating rates that went higher. So I think that is the case. It's when things are tough, the rates come down. When things are good, the rates go up. Is that right? Mm-hmm. I think.
Yeah. So the question is, like, now it seems that things are good. Mm-hmm. Why are the rates still pretty much negative?
That's a very good point.
What's happening there?
I don't know, but the word is a bit strange. You're saying about property. Property prices here are increasing exponentially. We went to see an auction. The kids and I were looking to find a ruin on a couple of acres. The guide price was 80 to 100,000 euros. So, very modest price. It sold for over 200, twice the guide price. And in seconds at the auction. We were there, getting ready to bid. I got a few bob, and then, it's gone. So, but then you also wonder, look here, our economy is the fastest growing in the EU. We've almost full employment, but we've huge homeless problems I keep on ranting and raving about. And plus also, there's so many couples who are working, and they're both working, but they're pretty much almost on the poverty line. Or they're both working in good jobs. And we report out yesterday that we pay more taxes, the middle class in particular, pay more taxes. And actually, I'm not even quite sure what class I am, as in economically. I've been up and down so many times. But the middle class, the economic middle class, are paying 10 grand more in taxes than they were, 3 grand more in taxes than they were 10 years ago. Isn't that interesting? And plus also another report came out too, and doesn't surprise us, that high net worth individuals are paying little or no tax. They're paying less tax than the average industrial wage. And I think 83 of the top high net worth individuals only had, these are people who are worth millions, not billions, only had a taxable income of about 35,000, which is lower than the average industrial wage here in Ireland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so I don't know. The world's a bit strange. I don't know. I mean, will this crash be coming? I don't know. Ooh.
Yeah, interesting.
maybe I should wait till 2019 to buy.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you don't know. It's like, when is the economy going to collapse? You can predict that as well as the price of cryptos.
Yes, that's mad. Anyway, good news. In Kenya, it's leading the way. They had a task force that said the government should replace cash with digital currency to deal with corruption and uncertainty. That's interesting. So Kenya, and it's needful, because we know in the African countries, the developing countries, inflation is huge. The value of the fiat, Nigeria in particular, obviously an example is all the time about how it is slashed. So it is interesting that people are looking at ways of stabilizing currencies and providing other options. And there was also the Chinese billionaire Bruno Wu. He was talking about an African continent. He was saying that blockchain could help its commodity marketplace, again, to stave off corruption and money laundering and all the things that people don't have certainty when they deal with African countries. I know it's a terrible stereotype, but it's kind of borne out by empirical evidence. But he was saying, Bruno Wu was saying, digitizing asset production and distribution will put the continent in the forefront of commodities. That's interesting too as well, because obviously Africa is rich in commodities. I mean, here in Ireland, we have water, that's about it. And we didn't have much of it this summer, very little. But there are huge, minerals and oils and fossil fuels and precious metals on the African continent, and they're not being well, a lot of them leak away and don't benefit the country because of corruption and all the rest of it. So blockchain could actually help with those countries very much, which would be good.
Definitely. Blockchain can help a lot of things.
I know, I love blockchain.
I keep saying. But yeah, so maybe one more. Criminals who have been prosecuted. So there have been a lot of arrests around the world. This one is quite ambitious. So in a Russian nuclear plant, there were some scientists who decided to start mining Bitcoin. And yeah, this was the first Soviet atomic bomb and hydrogen bomb facility, and completely sealed off. And then there was some nuclear engineers who connected the site's supercomputer, a 1 petaflop Titan with a capacity for 1,000 trillion calculations per second.
Wow! And
of course they got caught because the security went, what is going on here? So yeah, they pretty quickly caught the guys, but you should appreciate the ambition here.
Well, Michael, but it does beg the question: if they're like really clever scientists, why do they get caught? Why could they not have just shaved a small bit that wouldn't attract and do it slowly over time? That would make sense.
Probably not very clever scientists.
Yeah, not very clever. Yeah, maybe their brains the size of the planet, but yeah. I know. I saw a nice story too. In Mongolia, they're going to issue their first digital currency license under the new payment system law. The local telecom operator Mobicom has got the license and are going to for a subsidiary called Modi Finance, issued by the Bank of Mongolia, and the state-approved financial instrument. It's a virtual currency called nicknamed Candy, and it's a non-payment instrument and valued pegged to the Mongolian tugrik, which is their local currency. That's cool. It's Mongolia. Isn't that mad how places of East Asia booming ahead? So yeah. What other news do you have? I'm all out of news now.
I think I'm also nothing really spectacular that I could find. But yeah, it's same thing next week in crypto. It has been interesting in the sort of traditional business side. So Tesla and of course Facebook got hacked.
Oh yes, so a friend of mine has been spammed already. He said, don't get mails from me. And I know that with my Facebook, it's 50 million, I think, whatever. My Facebook, when I logged on to it yesterday, it said your session has expired. I'm always on. Why is it expired? So it's obviously.
So your stuff may be compromised.
It might be. So I changed the password. So I don't know. Then I'm thinking, I'm changing the password. Are they reading this new password? You worry sometimes, But that's kind of cool. So what we should say is that Monday the 1st. Is Monday the 1st or Monday's the 1st, isn't it? So it's a big day for you because your ICO starts, every success. And the website is Black.io or Black.insure.
Black.insure.
Black.insure. Okay. And then on Monday the 1st also my new long form ethical news site goes live, blockleaders.io. So the 1st of October. Wow, it's going to be a good week. Yeah. Yes. So I think after Sri Lanka and the 1st of October, all are excited. I think it's a great week.
Definitely. I agree.
Yeah. Yay! And so people who are watching got this far, like and subscribe and tell your pals.
Exactly.
So goodbye from me. Bye.